Good morning, everyone. Students, we have completed part A, Fundamentals of Business, right? Today we are starting part B, where we will study about the finance and trade. And it's containing this part. Part B is containing 4 chapters: sources of business finance, small business and enterprises, internal trade, and international trade, right? So let's start with chapter number 7. It's sources of business finance. As we have discussed many times, students, you must understand the meaning of this chapter. Sources of business finance. We all know that we can't start the business without finance. Okay, finance is the main requirement of the business, life giving content, you can say, in the business. All right. So how do we arrange the finance? We have the various sources available in the society. So from which sources we can collect the finance, or we should collect the finance for the business. All right, all these things we will be studying in this chapter. So here the introduction is telling the term finance means money or funds to run a business smoothly. Finance is of utmost importance. Finance is needed at every stage in a life of our business, and finance is required to start a business, to operate it, as well as for modernization and expansion. Okay, I mean, at all the stages, either this is the starting of the business, mid of the business, you want to expand your business, right? We require finance. All right. So they have given the concept of business finance. It is the requirement of funds by business to carry out various activities is called business finance. All right. Now the question arises, okay, we all know that we need finance, but why we need finance? For what we need finance? A few things everyone knows, but not everything. All right. So need for business finance, or the topic can be like this: requirement of business finance, okay, or importance of business finance. Fine. So the first point is fixed capital requirement. Students, when we start our business, so we have to purchase certain assets in the business. All right. You need a land and building. Fine. You need a place where you start your business. You need furniture, you need fixture, you need certain other kind of fixed assets. Okay. If it is a manufacturing, second point comes, either it is a manufacturing business or trading. Fine. If it is a manufacturing business, that it needs more fixed capital. Reason that in manufacturing concern, you are establishing a factory where you require so many machineries and land and building. Okay, a big piece of land and building you have to construct, then machineries, various kind of machineries you require. So all these things comes in the fixed assets. Okay, so fixed capital requirement arises for purchasing the fixed assets. Where you have to purchase the fixed assets, so we need fixed capital, because this fixed capital can remain in the business for the long time of the period. And as we know, these assets are also there in the business for a long time of the period. So these fixed assets must be purchased by the fixed capital. Fine. So it's telling that manufacturing concern needs more investment in fixed assets compared to a trading concern, since it requires purchase of plant and machinery. Similarly, a large-scale enterprises, TISCO, generally require greater fixed capital than a small-scale enterprises like a mini steel plant. Another example they have given according to the size of the business. If your size, all right, it is a manufacturing concern and you need more money, but now question arises, how much? Okay, so there is a limit. If it is a large manufacturing concern like Tata's concern, TISCO, so you need huge fixed capital. Okay, huge fixed capital requirement arises. But if it is a small mini plant, so here we need less fixed capital. All right, means this depends, either it is a manufacturing or trading concern. Second point is the size of your concern. Either it is a large size of the business or small size. Okay. Second one is your working capital requirement. Students, working capital, you must understand what is working capital. Working capital is that capital which you require on the daily basis. Daily we have to do so many expenses, as you have to pay the salary, some stationary expenses, carries inward you have to pay. Okay, and some routine expenses you have to pay. and you have to purchase the goods if it has finished. All right. And you are selling the goods on the credit basis, but sometimes you are purchasing it on the cash basis, so you need more fund. So here the simple meaning is the money. I mean, we pay the salary and wages to the employee, so this is also a part of the working capital. So in the simple language we can understand that the expenses which require for day to day requirement, or you can say the money which we require for complete 1 year, right? So that is called your working capital. Okay. 1 year, I've said that let it be 1 year, otherwise you will get confused. I will explain at certain other point. Here you should understand day to day requirement. All right. So here it's explaining a business needs funds for its day to day operation. Working capital refers to that part of total capital which is required for holding current assets such as stock, bills receivable, etc. Okay. Working capital required for the following purposes. Reasons they have given, which I have already told you. It's telling for purchasing the raw material, to meet current expenses like salary, wages and taxes, to pay other operating expenses like electricity bill, telephone bill and certain other expenses, to meet selling and distribution expenses like advertisement, packaging and all that. All right. So these all expenses depends on day to day expenses. These are considered. So a business unit selling goods on cash or having a speeder sales turnover would require less working capital as compared to another business. Another point they are raising, students, if it is working capital requirement, fine, but how much capital you require? Either you require more capital or less. Okay. So they are telling, if your strategy is to sell the goods on cash basis, okay, means most of the goods you are selling on cash basis, and uh, speeder sales turnover, and very soon your credit sale converts into the cash, means sometime you sell it on the credit basis, but very soon you are realizing from your debtor, so you need less working capital. Are you getting my point? Means more and more goods you are selling on the cash basis, and wherever you are selling it on the credit basis you are realizing money, means your debtors are paying you soon, so you have the flow of cash is good. Very soon you are collecting money. Okay. Its cycle is short, so you need less working capital, and vice versa. Means suppose you are selling your goods on credit basis, your concept is to sell it on credit basis, आपकी पॉलिसी इस तरह की है, ठीक है, या फिर आपके डेटर्स आपको बहुत देर से पैसा दे रहे हैं, पेमेंट कर रहे हैं, सो यू रिक्वायर मोर वर्किंग कैपिटल. ओके. Next we have growth and expansion. Students, growth and expansion, simply your business is going on and suddenly you planned that you want to expand your business. Okay. Its size you want to expand, or you want to start its another branch somewhere else. Okay. So you need more finance, because expansion doesn't take place with a short amount. You need huge amount for this, right? So you need a finance. So here it's telling higher growth of business enterprise requires higher investment in fixed assets. So finance is needed for growth and expansion. Depends ki you require a fixed capital or working capital. Both the requirements can be required for the growth and expansion. If you are hiring land and building, so you need money, and if you are purchasing it or you are constructing, so you need a fixed working capital, and if you are hiring only, then working capital requirement, because you have to pay the rent. So that depends upon the situation, which method you have adopted and which kind of finance you required for your growth and expansion. Fine. Next we have diversification. Well, it's telling that you are diverting from one line to another. Right now you are in the garment line and you want to add one more line, shoe line also you want to take, all kind of varieties of the shoes you are keeping. So you need more money for keeping the stock, place and all. Okay. So a firm needs more funds to diversify its operations, means to become a multi-product company like Reliance. Multi-product company means you are not keeping only one kind of product, you are keeping many kind of products. Fine. Next we have technological upgradation. Well, you are using old technology, but now you are planning to use the latest technology which is available in the market. That's very costly. Okay. You require to purchase this technology, you require to purchase new machineries, okay, advanced machineries, with the advanced technology you have to purchase, so you require more finance. Okay, so you need finance for this, either fixed capital or working capital, depends upon the situation. Sometime we hire it. Okay, hire purchase पे आप लेते हैं, then you require working capital because every year you have to pay the rent, monthly or yearly you have to pay the rent. But if you are purchasing it your own, then you need fixed capital requirement. Fine. So technical upgradation means installing new and modern machine in the place of the old one. Such step is necessary to remain in the competition. Finance is needed to adopt modern technology. All right, students. Well, here we have completed this topic. Next topic is your classification of business finance. Well, here we have classified this only fixed capital requirement and working capital requirement. Two bases we have done. Now here it is telling, means classification of business finance. How do you classify it? On what basis it is classified? Means here we have talked that fixed assets for the fixed capital, फिक्स्ड असेट्स परचेज करने के लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? फिक्स्ड कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट चाहिए. मींस लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल यू रिक्वायर, जो फिक्स्ड होती है, लंबे टाइम के लिए रहती है. ठीक है. एंड आपकी जो वर्किंग कैपिटल है उसके लिए आपको कौन सी चाहिए है? शॉर्ट टाइम में जो आपने अरेंज की है. राइट. मीन शॉर्ट टर्म फाइनेंस यू रिक्वायर. सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिक्वायरमेंट वी हैव डिवाइडेड or we have classified our business finance in 3 parts. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now the first part is long term finance, second one is medium term finance, third one is short term finance. Okay, I just tell you in brief. Long term finance which you require for more than 5 years. Okay, ये पैसा आपको 5 साल से ज़्यादा के लिए चाहिए है. So this is called long term finance, and of course this finance requirement we use for purchasing, we use this finance for purchasing the fixed capital of the business. Okay, medium term finance is that finance which we take from 1 year to 5 year. Okay, more than 1 year but less than 5 years, you take this time period for the medium term finance. And for the short term finance, that is up to 1 year only. Okay, less than 1 year, 364 days तक के लिए जो होता है, that is your short term finance. Fine. So let's discuss in detail what they are telling. Funds which are required to be invested in the business for a long period, say more than 5 years, are known as long term finance or long term capital or fixed capital. Such capital is invested in fixed or permanent assets of a business. Right, students? As we can have from the resources, right, where we have to pay after 5 years, so we use this finance for a fixed capital requirement, such as land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, fixture, patent, etc. Long term finance is required for expansion of projects and adoption of innovative techniques. A company can raise long term finance by issue of share, debentures and long term loan. Fine. Second one is your medium term finance. It's the same thing which I have explained, but let's read it out for you. Funds which are invested in business for a period more than 1 year but less than 5 years for particular purpose. This may include expenses on modernization of plant and machinery, or introduction of a new product, adoption of new methods of production or distribution, or an advertisement campaign. So it is telling the purposes. These were the purpose for which we can use the medium term finance. Okay, the necessity of this type of finance generally arises on account of changes in technology or increasing competition. Medium term finance is raised from the debenture holders, financial institutions, public deposits and commercial banks. These were the sources from where we can have the medium term finance. Okay, now short term finance. The type of finance refers to funds requirement to meet day-to-day requirement and for holding stock of raw material, spare parts, etc. to be used for current operations. Short-term finance is often called working capital. We call it a working capital also, as we have discussed in the previous topic. Short-term funds are raised from public deposits. These are the sources from where we can have, and we will discuss in detail in this chapter only later on. So we can have it from the public deposit, trade, credit and commercial banks for a period not exceeding 1 year. Fine. The amount of short-term finance of a firm require depends upon means how much you require, depends upon the nature of firm, किस तरह की firm है आपकी, either this is manufacturing, trading or what kind or service firms are there, और time gap between production and sales of the goods की कितना time gap है उनमें, and volume of business. All right, so all these points decide that how much short term finance you require, how much quantity of the loan you require. All right, so these were the classification on the basis of time period, students. Well, I'm telling you, this classification of business can be done on two bases. The first base which we have discussed, that is on the basis of period. Period means time period के base पे हमने किया. This is more than 5 year. This is between 1 to 5 year. Okay, 1 year to more than 1 year and less than 5 year, and this is up to 1 year. Fine. Now we will discuss which is on the basis of ownership. Students, ownership means finance we have. Okay, we can have finance from the market, but which finance provides somebody as somebody ownership, and another kind of finance doesn't provide the ownership to anyone. Okay, so what kind of finance is providing them ownership and what kind of finance doesn't provide them ownership, right? So on the basis of ownership we can divide in two parts. One is owners fund and another one is borrowed fund. I tell you the brief of this, students, later on I'll read it for you. ऑनर्स फंड मीन्स जो जहाँ जिस सोर्स से आप फाइनेंस अरेंज करते हैं, दे आर कॉल्ड द ऑनर्स ऑफ द बिजनेस. जिन्होंने फाइनेंस दिया है, दे आर द ऑनर. एज इफ वी इशू द शेयर्स, इक्विटी शेयर्स, ओके, सो द इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स आर कॉल्ड द ऑनर ऑफ द कंपनी. जो कंपनी इक्विटी शेयर इशू करती है उनको हम ऑनर्स कहते हैं. ठीक है, सो दे विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज एन ऑनर्स. और इफ यू आर हैविंग इट फ्रॉम द रिटेन अर्निंग, so they are also owners because that money belongs to the equity shareholders only. Fine. And borrowed fund means if you are taking loan from the bank, you are issuing the debentures, okay, and trade credit, so these all are borrowed fund. Fine. So let's discuss in detail. Owners fund means funds that are provided by the owner of an enterprise. Okay, the owner's capital remains invested in the business for a longer duration and is not required to be refunded during the life period of the business. This is one point, students. Owner कौन है? business के owner है. तो business कब तक रहेगा? जब तक वो capital है. Means owner का अपना fund है and they are not in hurry to take out that. निकाल नहीं सकते हैं. Equity share capital, once you have invested in the business, so you can't take it out till the winding up of the business. Okay, तो ये आपके ऑनर्स फंड जो है ये लॉन्ग टर्म रिसोर्सेज हैं. ओके, एंड अ लार्ज पार्ट ऑफ द ऑनर्स फंड इज यूज्ड फॉर एक्वायरिंग फिक्स असेट्स. रीजन आई हैव टोल्ड यू, दीज आर फॉर द लॉन्ग टाइम ऑफ द पीरियड, सो वी यूज द ऑनर्स फंड टू परचेज द फिक्स असेट्स. It is also known as the risk of capital of the business. This is called risky capital also. Why do we call it risky capital? इसलिए कहते हैं क्योंकि ऑनर्स पे, ऑनर्स फंड पे यानी कि शेयर्स पे अगर प्रॉफिट होता है, कंपनी में प्रॉफिट होता है, तो ही इनको हम रिटर्न यानी कि डिविडेंड पे करते हैं. इफ द कंपनी इज नॉट अर्निंग प्रॉफिट देन वी डोंट पे दैम डिविडेंड, सो वी कॉल इट अ रिस्की कैपिटल. ओके, so as return on this capital depends upon the rate of earning of the company. The owners fund comprises of share capital and retained earning. That's what we have talked in the starting. All right, students, certain other things are also including, but these are the main one. Share capital and retained earning are the main part of the owners funds. Okay, now borrowed fund refers to the funds raised through loans or borrowings. Now these borrowings have to be repaid after a specified period, and a fixed rate of interest is paid on the borrowed fund. That's quite obvious, students. When you are you are borrowing from somebody, you are taking loan from somebody, either this is bank or your friends or anybody else, or you are issuing the debentures. Debentures को हिंदी में ऋण पत्र बोलते हैं, means a kind of loan you are taking from the public. Okay, so you have to repay this amount one day, and during the lifetime of the company or during the lifetime of a business, you have to repay this borrowed funds, and you have to pay the interest on this borrowed fund. And students, this is mandatory to pay the interest. Mandatory means either firm is having the profits or losses, hardly matter. Okay, you have to pay the interest to these people who have given the loan to the firm or your company. All right, So the borrowed fund security holders don't get the right to sue the firm in case there is a default in payment of interest or repayment of loan amount. It's telling that the payment of interest as well as principal amount is a legal liability of the company. Legally they are bound to pay this amount. If you take loan from somebody, you issue the debenture, so principal amount means जो basics आपने लिया that you have to pay plus interest you have to pay. Fine. Now the borrowed fund security holder. See, when we borrow the fund either from the loan from the bank or we issue the debenture, so these all are called the secured loan. Here we keep our assets as a mortgage with them. Okay, अपनी assets को हम गिरवी रखते हैं, then we take this one. So the borrowed fund security holders don't get the right to sue the firm in case there is a default in payment of interest or repayment of loan amount. Here one thing is very important, students. If you have unsecured unsecured loan means where you don't keep your assets as a mortgage, आपने assets को गिरवी नहीं रखा है, then if you don't pay the interest or principal amount back, right, then that party can sue you. Okay, the borrower can sue you in the court because you didn't pay the interest on that. All right, but if it is a secured one, you have kept your assets as a mortgage and later on you don't pay interest on that, you don't repay the principal amount, then these people, they can't sue you in the court. Reason is very clear, that you have kept the assets as a mortgage with them, so these people have a legal right to sell your assets and realize this amount of interest and principal amount. Have you understood the difference? If it is unsecured, आपने कोई assets property नहीं रखी है गिरवी, so they can sue you in the court, okay, because you didn't pay their interest and principal amount. But if you have kept something as a mortgage, then these borrower, they don't have right, the people who have given you the loan, they don't have right to sue you in the court. Okay, reason is very clear, that they have your assets. Now they have right to sell your assets in the market, they realize the money and they compensate their interest and principal amount, and if something remained with them after compensating their own funds, okay, and interest, then they pay it back to you, to the business. All right, students, I hope it is clear what are the owners fund and borrowed fund. Now a little difference is given here, although everything is very clear, but let's read it. Meaning, both owners fund and borrowed fund. It refers to the funds considered by the owners as well as the retained earning, and it refers to the borrowing of the fund. It includes all fund available by way of loan and credit, right? These are including. Now owners fund is a source of permanent capital है, long term sources है, fixed capital के लिए use करते हैं, and borrowed fund is for a specific time period, okay, means 1 year, 2 years, specific time period, and here lifelong. Now security, it doesn't require any security, यहाँ कुछ mortgage नहीं रखना है, no security is required, but here the security is required. Okay, we keep the assets, certain assets as a mortgage. Control over this owners fund, contributors control the company. See, if you issue the owners fund, means you have issued the equity share capital, so these people who have applied for the equity shares, okay, so they are the owner of the company now and they have the controlling power with them. Okay, and here the borrowed fund security holders don't get the right to control because they are not the owners, and owner have a right to control. Fine. Sources from where we can have these owners fund, we can have it from the share capital, retained earning, GDR, ADR and IDR. Later on we will discuss. This is globally depository receipts, and this is American depository receipts and Indian depository receipts. Okay, and here the sources are your debentures, loan, trade credit, public deposits, etc, etc. Fine. Returns, what do we get on the owners fund? Here the return is your profit, okay, and it is paid in the way of dividend to the shareholder, and here its return is interest which is payable irrespective of the profit. Means owners fund पे जो return मिलता है वो आपका dividend है, जो कि कंपनी में profit होता है तो आता है, and if you have issued the borrowed fund से आपने capital arrange की है, okay, so its return is called interest जो आप pay करते हैं. ठीक है. Next is risk. Owners fund security holders are primary risk bearer of the company, and borrowed fund security holders bear no risk. They are the primary bearer because every risk they have to bear. Okay, if the company is not earning profit, so they will not get the dividend, fine. And if dissolution take place, they will be paid at last. First the things will be, I mean, the money will be paid to the outsiders, creditors, all the liability will be paid, then this is paid to the borrowed and all, fine. And they, if there is any residual, then they get that, right? So this is risky capital. They are at the higher risk or primary risk bearer, and they are not having any risk. Why? Because they are completely secured. Borrowed fund are the secured one. If you are taking loan from the bank, issuing the debenture, you have kept your assets as a mortgage, so you have kept it, you have kept the sufficient amount as a security against that, right? So no risk is there. Now we will discuss in detail one by one all the points which we have talked in the owners fund, as we have the share capital, retained earning, ADR, GDR, so and so. So owners fund, we have discussed about the owners fund. What are these one? So what is including in the owners fund? We have equity shares, we have preference shares, retained earning, globally depository receipts, American depository receipts, and Indian depository receipts. So let's talk about all these things one by one. First we will talk about the equity and preference shares. Students, share, you should understand its meaning, and we need the same theory in 12th standard also, accountancy. The chapter is company accounts, so you should be very careful while doing this chapter. Is very important. Okay, so share means, कहते हैं ना, उसने ज़्यादा शेयर ले लिया, उसने मेरा शेयर ले लिया. There was a piece of cake and he has taken my share. Okay, means मेरा हिस्सा भी ले लिया उसने. So I tell you students, the whole capital of the business which you have estimated or decided. Suppose I say my capital is 1 lakh rupees for my business. Okay, so you just divide the whole capital in small small parts. छोटे छोटे हिस्सों में अपनी capital को divide कर देते हैं. And the smallest denomination you have to decide yourself. Suppose for my business I have decided 10 rupees as the smallest denomination. Okay, so this 10 rupees is called one share of my company, means hissa. Okay, so the one share is of 10 rupees and total capital of 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so I can say that 1 lakh rupees divided by 10. Okay, so you have how many shares? 10,000 shares you will have, right? So I just show you practically. You have 1 lakh rupees capital, and I say value of one share I have decided 10 rupees. So this 1 lakh capital will be divided by 10 rupees, and you will find 10,000 shares of rupees 10 each. All right students, so 1 lakh rupees capital I have divided in 10 rupees small share. So how many shares I will get? I will get 10,000 shares of rupees 10 each. Okay, so this way we divide our capital in small parts. Okay, so this is your share. Now it's telling that as per the Indian Companies Act 2013, share means a share in the share capital of a company and includes stock. The person holding the share is known as a shareholder. The capital obtained by issue of share is known as a share capital. Okay. Now types of share capital. Here we know the shares. Share means small hissa. Okay. And the total capital is called the share capital, which you have decided. Now types of share capital. What are the types available in your company? We have authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, called up capital, and paid up capital. I tell you students, next year we'll have the practicals of all these things, but theoretically I'm explaining. Authorized capital is that maximum capital of the company which company can issue in its lifetime. पूरे लाइफ टाइम में कंपनी जो मैक्सिमम कैपिटल इशू कर सकती है, दैट इज कॉल्ड ऑथोराइज्ड कैपिटल. ओके, कंपनी कांट इशू मोर देन दिस. एंड ऑथोराइज्ड कैपिटल, it's having certain other names like registered capital and nominal capital. All right students, Authorized capital, nominal capital, and registered capital. This is one and all is the same thing, and this is the maximum capital which company can issue in its lifetime. And this is mentioned in, we have studied about certain documents, students. I have talked about this capital, authorized capital there also. Memorandum of association, capital clause we have discussed. If you don't remember, pause the video, go back and watch. Okay, so we mentioned this authorized capital in the capital clause, and company can issue maximum capital which has mentioned in the capital clause. And if you want to somehow, suppose you want to issue more than the capital which is mentioned in the capital clause, means authorized capital से ज़्यादा issue करना है, then you have to do the amendments in the capital clause. In MOA, go to the capital clause, do some amendments, right? Increase your authorized capital, and then you can issue, right? It means more than authorized capital you can't issue, right? So this is the maximum capital which any company can issue in its lifetime, right? Now, second one is your issued capital. Students, this authorized capital we decide, we are very forward looking, and I have planned for my future, and I'm expecting that my business will grow like anything. But today I'm not at that position, so I have to issue a small amount, but in future, in the near future, my capital will increase to 5 crore. So I have decided 5 crore as an authorized capital, but today I want to issue only 5 lakh rupees, right? So you are not bound to issue the whole authorized capital at once. You can issue this capital as much as you require today in small parts. So today I'm issuing only 5 lakh rupees as my capital. So this is the amount which you issue, that's called issued capital. Fine. So authorized में से जितना आप आज issue कर रहे हैं वो आपकी issued capital है. All right. Now another point, students, you want to issue 5 lakh rupees, you want to have 5 lakh rupees, okay, but that's not in your hand to get 5 lakh rupees. That depends upon the people, how much they subscribe, right? How many shares they are applying of your company. So suppose out of 5 lakh rupees, if the public has subscribed for 4,50,000 rupees, okay, means 4,500 shares, whatever that is. It is not that which I have taken the primary example of 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so I got it 4,50,000 rupees. So this is my subscribed capital, and quite possible that the goodwill of my company is very nice, and people, they have subscribed more than my issued capital. I have issued 5 lakh rupees as my capital, okay, but public is subscribing for 6 lakh rupees. So this is my subscribed capital, right? Means other than the issued capital, it is that capital which is subscribed by the public. It can be less or more. If it is less, right, students, are you getting? 5 lakh I wanted to issue, I have issued of course 5 lakh capital, but if you are getting less, 4,50,000, this is called under subscription, okay, and if you are getting more, 6 lakh rupees, so this is over subscription. Is that clear? So subscribed capital is that capital which is asked by the public. So I'm reading it for you. It means such part of the capital which is for the time being subscribed by members of a company. All right. Now students, one thing you should understand, the value of my share was, do you remember? It was 10 rupees we have decided initially. Again, it is not necessary that I call the whole 10 rupees together. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप पूरे के पूरे 10 रुपये एक बार ही मंगवा लें. I call from my shareholder according to my need and requirement. Whenever I need money, I will call them. Please pay your first call, second call, okay? Means this 10 rupees we divide in small parts. Fine. This 10 rupees, I just break the 10 rupees. Means application पे मैंने 2 मंगवाया, then allotment comes 3, then I have decided first call 2, and then final call 3, right? So you can have more installments also, okay? Later on we will study in accountancy next year, okay? So that way you break your 10 rupees in different amounts. Application, allotment, and various calls are there. So called up capital is that capital which you have, the part of the capital which is called by you. जितने शेयर आपने इशू किए हैं, राइट, उसमें से जो आप पार्ट उसका कॉल कर रहे हैं, जैसे 5 रुपीज़ आपने कॉल किया है, ठीक है, 5 लाख रुपीज़ वॉज योर इशूड कैपिटल एंड डिवाइडेड इन 10 रुपीज़ पर शेयर. सो आपके शेयर थे 50,000, ठीक है. अब 50,000 शेयर्स पे आपने पहले ये 5 रुपीज़ कॉल किए हैं, ठीक है. सो चलिए लेट अस टेक दिस फर्स्ट कॉल ऑल्सो. 7 रुपीज़ आपने कॉल किए हैं, ठीक है, 7 रुपीज़ कॉल किए हैं आपने 50,000 शेयर्स पे 7 रुपीज़. सो यू हैव रिसीव्ड 3,50,000 रुपीज़. सो ये आपकी क्या हो जाती है, कॉल्ड अप कैपिटल हो जाती है. ऑल राइट, नाउ अनदर इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट स्टूडेंट्स, this is your called up which you have called, but again that's not in your hand that the people from whom you have called they have paid you. Maybe Mr. Ram was holding some amount, some shares, and he didn't pay you the amount. Suppose it will be very lengthy, I'm just taking one figure only instead of explanation. Suppose 10,000 you didn't receive, 10,000 आपके कॉल्स इन एरियर हैं, किसी ने नहीं पे किया, तो आपको कितना मिला है अभी, 3,40,000 है. ऑल राइट, इन द लेमैन्स लैंग्वेज, इन द सिंपल लैंग्वेज स्टूडेंट्स, डोंट गो इन वेरी डीप, ये प्रैक्टिकल पोर्शन है नेक्स्ट ईयर का हमारा. 3,50,000 आपने कॉल किए हैं 5 लाख में से, तो ये आपकी कॉल्ड अप कैपिटल है. इफ़ यू रिसीव्ड द होल अमाउंट, पूरे का पूरा आपको मिल जाता है, तो आपकी कॉल्ड अप एंड पेड अप कैपिटल सेम हो जाएगी. बट सपोज यू डोंट रिसीव एनी पार्ट ऑफ दिस, जो आपको मिलता है वो पेड अप कैपिटल हो जाती है. ऑलराइट, जो मांगी वो कॉल्ड अप है, जो रिसीव हुई वो पेड अप कैपिटल है. कॉल्ड अप एंड पेड अप कैन बी द सेम. ओके, इशूड कैपिटल, कॉल्ड अप एंड पेड अप कैपिटल कैन ऑल्सो बी द सेम, कि जितना आपने इशू किया उतने का उतना आपने मांग भी लिया और सारा का सारा आ भी गया. यू आर क्वाइट लकी. सो ऑल द कैपिटल्स कैन बी सेम. अंडरस्टूड दैट? So called up is, it means such part of the capital which has been called for the payment, and that is it means such aggregate amount of money credited as paid up as is equivalent to the amount received as paid up in respect of the shares issued, and also include the amount credited so and so. That's very lengthy, you just understand the simple meaning which I have explained. All right students, so here we have started doing the honors fund, and we have the different kind of things which the sources of the honors fund which we can have. We have taken the first one, equity share, and here we have learned the types of share capital. Okay, so here we have two kind of shares students. Okay, here we have talk about it, equity and preference, although I didn't explain, we will be explaining here. So two kind of shares are there. First one is equity share and second one is preference share, right? So that's all for today's class. Just go through the things till this point. Okay, types of share capital, and in the next class we will proceed with the types of share and the details of equity and preference share. Okay, so keep learning by the time. Thank you.